The presentation is some mistakes from my career, and I call it the scope creep. What it means is, as you're building the game, your ambitions also improve.
Baila conmigo toda la night. El ritmo suena. Can you
What has it been for a developer who's been in the game for a long time?
so real?
I would like to call upon Druhin Mukherjee from Godspeed Games, originally from Calcutta studio in Pune, but when he said we do developer days, he said I have to talk to Pune. I mean, I have to talk in Kolkata no matter what. So we have Druhin here, experience of building games for 15 years. Druhin, over to you.
Hello. Okay, so I think some great presentations from Shivani and others also. So what I'm going to talk about is probably some mistakes that all of you are doing, which I did, and as indie developers and as also AA, AAA developers, you might be doing as well. My name is Druhin. I've been in the gaming industry for around 17, 18 years now. I don't know from when I've been developing games. Professionally, the first game I have worked on is in 2006, I believe, and then kept on working games. My experience started probably outside India, and then I opened a gaming company called Godspeed Games in 2015 along with Ranbir, and we started off being services and then moved on to creation of own IPs, then also different things like publishing and co-development and a lot of other things, right? So the presentation is some mistakes from my career, and hopefully you don't repeat those mistakes, yeah? Because the same questions that everybody asks is, why are we not making great games from India, right? We are making great trailers that I'll give it to you, amazing trailers, finished product nahi hai. And why is it that? So let's go one by one as to some problems that may be happening in the gaming industry. So I think already Shobik covered brilliantly about the history, about the Indian gaming ecosystem in general. But also from a development point of view, a lot of things changed, right? From 80s to 90s to 2000. So my gaming industry career started from console and PC. I started with PC, very soon moved to console. I did mobile game development very late. I would say probably 2014 is where I looked at mobile game development very, very seriously, and then also did a lot of mobile AA, AAA as well. But majorly it has been following from the 2000 era of Xbox, Nintendo, Wii. Have anyone heard about the Wii? Played any games on Wii? Yes, who said yes? Okay, great. Atari? How many have played games on Atari? Amazing. One person is there who played. Tumi buro. Bachchate jigesh korchi. So Atari and all those games, we started game development from there on, and then the era of mobile came about, which kind of created an absolute blast about what mobile game development can do in terms of reach. A term which many investors would use is TAM, SAM, SOM. Anybody heard of what is TAM, SAM, SOM? Very good. It's good that you don't listen to these terms, because we have to deal with these things a lot, which is total addressable market, total serviceable market, and all those things. And when you look at those numbers, mobile development becomes the top. But I am from that field of thought that all three platforms have their equal importance. If you are making a PC game, you can make money. If you are making a console game, you can still make money. As indie developers, you don't need to make $4 million. As when I was working very early on in a company which created the game Operation Flashpoint, probably you guys have not heard of that game, long time back. It was in the era when the GTA was made, and that was getting... Yeah, it was made by Codemasters long time back. So at that time, one of my seniors said that as indie developers, you should make enough money to make the next game. You should not make money. I mean, it's a thought process. It's such a glamorous field. You will make a game and then drive Lamborghini next day. It doesn't happen like that. It requires a lot of hard work. It requires a team. There are certain examples where people have made a lot of money with some standout viral games, but Generally, that's not the case. And you should make enough money to make the next game, and then the next game, and then one game will give you back all that you have dreamt of. That is the whole idea, right? You take a lot of examples. Angry Birds is, of course, a common example. I'm trying to think of other games. Risk of Rain. Has anybody heard of the game? Risk of Rain? No. I don't know. I'm scared to ask. Same. Spelunky. Has anybody heard of the game? Spelunky. Okay. Good. So those are kind of games you should also look and play around. So if I ask all of you, apart from shooters and racers, how many games people have played? So that is where you need to expand your horizon as well. And that's all developed during that era. And if you look at the current era, of course, VR is also a prominent factor. You can make games for VR, but there are different use cases also for VR in real estate, in automobile industry, and so on. Many, I think in Calcutta itself, many companies are actually doing a lot of good stuff on VR. I think folks at Red Apple also are doing a lot of good stuff in VR, and so there is a lot of potential, right, in VR in general. So, first point again, mistakes. The importance of player feedback. I think somebody asked, or somebody kind of mentioned the point about, I think from back there, where they know a problem, but they don't know how to incorporate that. And it's important that you have to incorporate this, because when you are developing a game, that game is very precious to you. And when somebody gives feedback which is not something you like, you may not take it very lightly, right? But feedback from friends, family, girlfriend, boyfriend has no significance. They'll only say game is good, and this is the best thing they have played. So have a very diversified feedback loop that you have. And based on that feedback loop, you will know a lot of things. You will know whether your character is overbalanced. You will know whether your game is boring or not. You will know whether some kind of other UI UX you need to develop or not. A good example of this, back in 2010, there was a game that got released called Crackdown 2. Anybody heard of the game? It was on Xbox. Crackdown 2 was created by this company called Ruffian Games, which basically got later rebranded as Rockstar Dundee. It was not Rockstar North, but Rockstar Dundee. And they did a player testing and community testing for their game Crackdown 2, and they realized that their entire UI UX loop is broken. Because what they expected the players to click and do, nobody got it. And these are not juniors. These are people who have worked on GTA, Rockstar North, other AAA titles like James Bond, GoldenEye, and then came and started working on those games. So it's not something only when you're fresher you're going to get this problem. When you're senior, you're not going to get the problem. It's a common problem to have. So have that feedback loop going in your games. Very important. Many people miss it, or they keep it quite late. As indie developers, try to incorporate it very early on. Maybe have dev blogs. You have seen dev blogs by international developers, right? To create that thing on YouTube or Twitch, do that. It might help. This is a very important point because there are certain people in this audience also have been guiding, and I call it the scope creep. What it means is, as you're building the game, your ambitions also improve. Now you want to do more from what you got started with. And what happens because of that, the game becomes way too much complicated than you expected it to be. There are many cases which I have found people started off making a game which is single player. Then they thought, okay, no, I have to have multiplayer. And then they added multiplayer, but the architecture did not support multiplayer. Now they have a really bad game. So scope creep it's not the easiest thing to balance, because you want the best game for the audience, but you need to have a clear boundary as to when you want to release the game. I'm not going into complicated stuff like go-to-market strategy and all of those kind of stuff and confuse you, but at least have a clear boundary as to when you want to release the game. What is the scope of the game, right? Because you need to budget that out as well. Very, very important for indie developers to have that in mind. It kind of also improves on your project focus, because if you do not have deadlines, as indie developers, what happens is you typically don't give deadlines to yourself. You keep on working because that's the craft. That's not a good way to work. Even if you are 5-member team, 3-member team, have deadlines, and if you are not meeting deadlines, as if you're working for a large studio, try to see if you can push some extra hours to meet that deadline if that's required. Otherwise your game will not be at that state, right? So continuously have that scope creep check, because otherwise the budget of your game will keep on increasing a lot and you can't really manage.